just going to tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so I mean, if anybody's interested, great. Go to the last page. You just have to write this down. You can go to apricotrocket.com/white paper, and I'm actually launching a token. It's not one I bought for $150 off of Fiverr, but I'm actually launching a token that is going to be used as a utility token within the context of our own shopping cart ecosystem that we have and we're building. So what is a utility token? Think of a Chuck E. Cheese token. You go to Chuck E. Cheese, slip $5 in, you get a handful of tokens, you get to go put them in the games, that's a utility token. The utility token is not a token that is a speculative asset like Bitcoin. Okay, so if you're interested, go take a look. I'm doing a token. It's not just a utility token. I'm raising some capital for my company and I'm offering tokens along with it. So if you're interested and you happen to be and meet the qualifications of being an accredited investor, you're invited to go take a look. You have to go through some steps and sort of prove up that you in fact are, but you can at least read what it is I'm doing and go into more detail. But I'm actually, again, launching a token for the purpose of building my own ecosystem with the CRM shopping cart as sort of the centerpiece. And the reason is very simple. If somebody wants to sell a product and accept Bitcoin or some other digital currency, they can do so just like they can accept PayPal. So that's part of the shopping cart system. But if somebody wants to actually be able to deliver a digital asset that's unique, then we have to develop the blockchain. Because that blockchain, I told you the blockchain, that blockchain doesn't exist. It's within the capability of the technology, but that blockchain does not exist. There's none of those 1,500 companies that I'm aware of, and I've looked at 75 of them, and I'm kind of watching the space. Every one of those 1,500 companies is trying to create a currency. They want to get in on the currency game. Buy my currency and it'll go up in value, it'll go down in value. I'm not doing that. I'm doing a different kind of thing. I'm actually going to have a token which is used as a utility token within our ecosystem, and that our own blockchain, which will be used specifically and only for the delivery of digital assets. So we're going to build that delivery layer and the player, the wallet that's a player, that'll allow you to buy that Taylor Swift song, either the ones that she sells hundreds of thousands of copies or the one that she only sells 10. Doesn't matter. We're building that blockchain because it's a unique and specific type of blockchain. It's not the general purpose blockchain. It's still a blockchain, but it's not the one that'll be used to trade coins.
It's not speculation.
It's not a spec. We're going to build a blockchain specifically for the delivery of digital assets, the tracking of digital assets, and a marketplace that allows people to resell them. It's not something that'll be done in a month. It's going to take some time. So we're in the process of starting that right now. So anyway, if you're interested, go to that page and look at it. It's a white paper and you'll learn more. That's it. Yes, sir.
You said, I think, that Bitcoin had 21,000...
21 million coins
out there.
21 million point, 8 more decimals.
Okay. What is to preclude them from adding more coins to the...
When you launch a blockchain, you have to tell the technology what the maximum number of units is. That's it. That's all they'll ever be.
And that can never
Once
change.
you do that, you can't change it.
There's no hacker or programmer that can change it.
No, you can't. You cannot change it. When you go, I mean, they could have chosen 200 billion. They could have chosen 2 trillion, but they chose 21 million for whatever reason. You guys got to go?
We've got 1:30 meetings, so
Okay.
yeah, we've got to run.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. This is fascinating.
Thank you so much.
Really good.
So yeah, that once you launch your blockchain and put it out into the world, that's capped. Yes, sir.
Who is Bitcoin?
Bitcoin. I don't know how to answer that question. It's a technology. I don't really know the answer to that question in terms of could I go find their office? I don't think so.
I would suggest, it's going to help me understand, there's a few documentaries on that folks you can watch that kind of explains the birth.
Yeah, there's something like Netflix right here.
Yeah.
Like Baking on Bitcoin, there's another one.
Baking?
Banking
Begging.
Banking
on
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other one. I watched them with my husband, like I said, he's really interested, so, but it kind of helped me understand, because it is kind of a different, because if you really think about it, if we remove the currency of cash, I mean, that basically almost destroys the structure of government. I think that's why a lot of people are afraid of Bitcoin in a way.
Sure.
And so it kind of gives you, and like you said, just the not knowing of kind of the
Volatility?
Yeah, is one of the bigger factors of why Bitcoin is so interesting. But it kind of explains like where it started, who created it. There is obviously a lot of controversy to it, but like you said, I think there's a lot of value into it though. Because I think our world, I mean, we're just shifting more into a technological world.
Yes,
And this is
but
basically-
the ultimate question is, does it exist in some manner in which, North Koreans could decide just to implode it one day?
So the Bitcoin, let me just try to answer this a slightly different way. Bitcoin exists, there's these machines called nodes,
Right.
okay? And there are hundreds of nodes for Bitcoin, maybe thousands. And the nodes are basically where the exact full copy of the Bitcoin blockchain is stored. And so when you do a transaction on Bitcoin, over a very short period of time, the new block that you add with your transaction data encoded is sent to all of those hundreds of nodes, which compare the data and make sure that it's a perfect match. Those nodes are operated by a lot of different people. Many of the times they're operated by miners. And so you have this distributed network of people that actually operate the network, and no one person is responsible for keeping the network up. Because the computers all talk to each other and share the common language, but each person, is responsible for paying the electricity bill and buying the machine or hosting the space and all that kind of stuff. All they're doing is running the code. As data is stored on the node, that's part of the miner fees that are collected is supports and pays for the support of this infrastructure. So Bitcoin is truly what's called a DAO, Distributed Anonymous Organization. Now, don't confuse that with the company called DAO that was sued about a year ago by the SEC and shut down. But they just named their company after this concept of a distributed anonymous organization. But that's what Bitcoin actually is. And most of these are the same way. Paul, have I answered any of the questions that you had? I know initially they were a little, Paul, you come from a world of finance, so you see this a little differently. I'm hoping I answered some.
Well, I guess I'm a late comer. My questions are probably of a more fundamental nature
Okay?
than,
I'm sure you're not the only one with them. Please ask.
what is it?
What is it?
Yeah. What do you do with it?
What do you do with it?
It's an intangible, I think is probably what he's having trouble
At this
with.
point in time, all you do with these currencies is trade them. There is almost
You what
no,
with them?
huh?
You do what?
Trade them.
Trade them.
Can you get a BMW with one of them?
Yes, you can. You can buy houses. There are lots of people out there, and the list of people that will accept digital currency for real goods is growing.
Right.
But you never.
Such as?
Well, there's people that'll sell houses, a few of them.
I actually met someone who started, they have a food truck. They bought their truck with Bitcoin. They literally bought their truck with Bitcoin. They said, I bought my truck with Bitcoin and started my business.
They bought it from
My friend to my left
Dealer?
is
For
buying a house.
whoever does, because when you trade it, but you can also convert it to cash.
Okay.
So if Don,
My friend here is buying a house as we speak.
right?
Right? Bought a house. And suppose you said to the seller, well, I don't have whatever the price is in cash, but I got these Bitcoins.
Yeah, you'd take it. I'd just convert the Bitcoin to cash and you'd take
Can it
it.
be cash?
So-
Bit's got cash is
You
the
can do one-
foundation, Bitcoin is above
You
it.
could do one of two things. He could either, Don could convert it to cash and give him the cash, or he could just give him the Bitcoin, and the guy that could then convert it to cash.
But so what?
But at the end of the day, the ability to
What have you
convert
done?
it to cash means somebody else has put in cash to buy yours in order to make it happen.
So it's the exact same concept as somebody from Mexico comes up with 1 billion pesos and wants to buy a building. So,
Is it, but now I'm gonna be more basic. Is it Bitcoin a unit of exchange?
yes,
Yes.
Is it Bitcoin a unit of value?
yes.
So what's the point of it? We have all of those out there right now in place.
Anonymity. anonymity.
That's the key.
That's